pelt. So I don't have to, go to the field of badgers kind of thing just to get these pelts. I can go to the badger field, I can go to the foxes or the rabbits or whatever, because they all can create the same kind of pelt. So that's why personally I don't limit myself by putting the type of creature in what you get in the kind of pelt. So we can get different kinds of leather, sure, but it makes it a little bit easier on you. Anyway, that's just a little tip for you if you care. So we'll finish that. So we've got those two recipes created, and we're ready to go and have a look at our blueprints. So in our blueprints, we now have a couple of more things. As you can see here in our recipe results, we have our silver ingot and our low quality leather. And as previously mentioned, any items that are created with the plugin have a default icon. So we're going to change the silver ingot to have something a little bit better than that question mark. We're going to change that to say, let's see here, one of these bullets will do. There we go. And the low quality leather, we'll change him to look like, and again, this is where having lots of icons comes in handy. There we go. We'll make that look like that. All right. Now, one thing that you have to do in a plugin is you have to tell the recipes that you've gone and changed the icons. In the GUI that I mentioned a few minutes ago about learning how to create recipes, when you're crafting and you're learning how to create recipes, it'll actually show you a picture of the actual icon in the GUI. And it knows that icon because it's an entry in the database. So whenever you change recipe result icons, you have to tell the database that you've done that, because the plugin talks to the tool set, but the tool set doesn't talk to the plugin, so you have to kind of do that. If you go into your game and you fire up the GUI or crafting GUI and you see that the icon is wrong, it's probably because you missed this step. So it's not a big inconvenience. Oops, I don't want to do that. And you do that by going on File and Update Recipe Icon. So you just click that and you click Update, and it's done really fast. And that's it. We're finished there. So we've gone and we've updated the two icons for those. Now, I'm thinking a little bit here about that low quality leather, and I want to make that recipe a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to fire that one up again, and I'm going to edit a recipe. I'm going to edit this low quality leather. And what I want to do is I'm going to create another ingredient. I'm just going to call this curing salts. I'm going to say you need 2 of those curing salts. And I'm going to make these stackable. I just want to demonstrate multiple ingredient recipe here for this, just to throw in a little bit more interesting. So we'll finish that. Now we'll notice that this popped right up here, curing salts, and again, same thing. We want to give it a new icon. Now we're not going to have to do the update icons because this is not a recipe result. This is just an ingredient. So we're going to not need to do that. There we go. But one thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to include those curing salts in our store, because that's just something that can be added as a money sink. So we're going to throw in curing salts into our shop. Now again, you probably want to adjust the price and all that good stuff for your curing salts, but for this example, we're just going to leave it all default for that. And that's it. That's in the store. So we're pretty much ready to go. And we've got our trainers, we've got our stations, we've got our ingredients. So we're going to go back in game now and see if we can learn these 2 trade skills and see what we can do with them. So we'll see you in there in a second. Okay, before I actually go in game, I actually came back because I did forget one step. We have our 2 trainers, we have our recipes created, but we have no way of teaching the player what to do with these 2 recipes. We have no way of telling them, hey, this is how you actually do it. So what we're going to do is create 2 items through the plugin to teach the players how to make silver ingots and low quality leather. We're going to do that by going into recipes and selecting new recipe item. And the first recipe name is going to be called silver ore ingot recipe. And the recipe that's associated with is going to be this one. Finish. And we're going to do another one called low quality leather recipe, and this actually should be small, and we're going to assign that one to this recipe. Finish. Now if you'll notice here we've got these 2 new items called recipe items. They're the 2 items that's going to teach us. What we're going to do is we're going to actually put those in our store. So I'm just going to bring up the store inventory, and this actually sorts itself out in game, so don't worry about that. Recipe items. Oops. And we're going to throw in these 2 recipes. Now you'll see how these work when I go in game. I'll explain these a little bit more in game, but there they are. This is the first method that you can use to teach your players how to craft certain items, how to craft certain recipes. This is the first method by actually using an item. So I'll show you that in game, and we're going to go there right now. Now, I'm still in a tool set because I forgot one more thing, and this is what happens when you're not reading the actual manual and you're trying to do it all from memory. I did forget another thing. In your module properties, let's bring that in, you'll see that there's an on activate item script. Now, you may or may not have a script here, but if you don't, or if you do, you're going to need to make a change to that. Now again, this is actually in the documentation. So I'm just going to show you what you have to do. And like all scripts that have to be changed, all they are is an execute script, open bracket, leg underscore, all master item activated, object self. That's what you'd have to do if you have an existing script. Just put that at the bottom. I want to double check the name to make sure that that is correct. And I know it's not. There it is there. It's actually master mod item activated. So that's the line that you want to put in if you have an item activated script already. So you throw this line in there and it'll do everything you need it to do. So I'm not gonna do anything with this. I'm just gonna leave that, because what I'm gonna do instead is I'm just going to fire up our crafting plugin, and actually not our crafting plugin, our master plugin, and hit update module scripts and finish. Now when I view, you can see that it's put all the required scripts in for me. Pretty neat. Yeah, we like the simple things. Again, if I have a script already in here for this, I don't use that button. And if I am just having the default script in there, I'm not actually doing anything special for my module, I will use the actual script. So hope that helps. And now we'll try and move into the game. Okay, so we're back in game, and we're going to go and talk to our 2 new trainers. I should probably practice this a little bit more. I won't forget things like that. Hopefully that'll be the last. Anyway, as you can see, we've got our Charles the trainer, the basic leatherworking trainer, and we've got George the trainer, our basic blacksmithing trainer. So, our forge and our leatherworking bench. The first thing I want to show you is what happens when we click on this forge when we're not trained. We get a message, you lack the skills to use this. So that's what we kind of would expect, because nobody's taught us how to actually use a forge. You know, I'll probably know how to light a match, but you know how to use all this stuff, I have no idea. But George will teach us. So let's learn blacksmithing for 30 gold from George. And he gives me the blacksmithing 101 manual right here. Now when I click on the forge, oh look, I can now craft things. Unfortunately, my knowledge about what I could actually craft is pretty limited. and you can see I don't know how to actually create anything. George has done a fabulous job